In this video, I am going to explain how to configure different settings related to your journal, which is done by the system admin. Because I am logged in as the admin, I can see all the roles here, but I just choose my role, system admin. And in the admins panel, I choose journal settings. Here you see that you have three main sections, which is basic settings, additional settings, and journal title and description of sections. In the first section, basic settings, you could choose your journal, whether your journal is a single language or multi-language. I'm just going to leave it to single language. And then you enter the main link to your journal here. And then you choose the frequency of the publication of your journal, whether it's monthly, annually, and etc. And then you have to enter the print ISSN and online ISSN codes. Afterwards, you enter your journal code. The admin could also define a minimum and maximum words for the abstract of the manuscript, and also a minimum and maximum counts for the keywords of the manuscript. The next field is the journal's main email address and the journal's support email address. And also you could enter an email address in the third text field here, which receives all the emails from the authors and reviewers. The next section is additional settings, which we choose it from here. And the first thing that you see here is to sort your manuscript list. And the different options you have is old manuscripts first, new manuscripts first, and whether to be sorted on their submit date, and etc. Also, you could choose a default number of records per page, which here is 25, but you could choose it to 50, 100, and others. And also, after you make a decision on your manuscript, you could choose for the browser to stay in the current action or for it to return to the main list of the manuscripts. The next thing is the review strategy for the reviewers, whether for it to be double blind or single blind. Double blind means that the reviewers cannot see the author's information, and single blind is that the reviewers can see the author's information and their names. Here you could also extend the review due date to when the reviewer agrees to review the manuscript. As we can see, it's already yes here. And you could also choose to show the manuscript main file for the reviewers without needing the manuscript to be sent to the reviewer by the editor or editor-in-chief. So here we can see that this journal selected no because they didn't want the reviewers to see the manuscript main files. The next thing is that if your reviewers are paid in your journal, you could get their bank account information here. And also you could unassign reviewers from a manuscript after they decline to agree to review a manuscript and after the period of the automatic follow-up emails are finished. Also, you could allow changing the co-authors on the revision step of the manuscript. When an author uploads when an author submits a new manuscript, they have to upload different files related to their manuscript, and those files are configured by the admin of the system here. And you could see that for each file type you could choose for it to be optional, mandatory, or disabled. And if it's disabled, it wouldn't be shown to the author at all. You could also put a limitation on the file types. For example, here you could also put a limitation on the allowed file types for manuscript main file, and you could choose between these different types here. For example, here the only first and second one are checked. The admin could also decide some settings for the editor and decide that whether the editor should only send some suggestions to the editor-in-chief, or whether they have more responsibilities and they could select reviewers for different manuscripts and send the reviewers' recommendations to the editor-in-chief. When an author submits a new manuscript, here the admin could choose that should the author suggest a reviewer for their manuscript or not. As we can see here, this journal chose that the author should introduce two reviewers to suggest two reviewers to review their manuscript. And for their manuscript to be finalized, they have to choose two. The admin also decides when the manuscript review complete letter is sent to the editor-in-chief. Here you could decide that when the manuscript is reviewed by two reviewers, the manuscript review is completed and it will be sent back to the editor-in-chief, and it is configurable in the drop-down menu here. In the next step, the admin could choose the amount of review due date for the reviewer. As we can see here, the default review due date for new manuscripts that are submitted is 15 days for reviewers. And the revision due date for authors is 15 days as well. And when the author sends the manuscript to the reviewer again, if it was a major revision, the reviewer has 15 days to go and review the manuscript. And if it was a minor revision again, in this journal, it's again 15 days for the reviewer to go and look through the manuscript. But these are all configurable here in the drop-down menus, and you could choose different days and times depending on your journal. Journal Manager also has a system that you could send automatic follow-up letters to the reviewers, to editors and authors, and the amount of days to send the email are all configurable here. Here you could also choose whether or not to show the current issue articles on the home page. You could choose to show the most visited articles on the home page, and also you could put a setting here that most visited article settings should be from the first latest issue, or like from the 16 latest issues. And you could also group the articles by the document type. For example, if they are all like PDF, you could group them here. And at last, you can enter a fee for the manuscript review and also the manuscript acceptance. And press save at last. So the next section for the journal settings is journal title and description of sections. So here you enter your journal title, and you enter an abbreviation of it, your publisher and the link to your publisher, the first published year of this journal. You could also select a header image for your journal, the journal cover sheet from here as well, and the right sizes for it is specified here as well. Down here, you could also see different sections which are accessible from different parts of the journal site. For example, if you want something to show on your homepage, you just click here and enter the text that you want to show on the homepage. And if you have something to say about your journal, you add it here. and you could just enter different information for each of these pages to be shown on your site and click Save Next. So this was an explanation about different settings related to your journal and how could you set up your journal at first when you get the system.